What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. My name is Raman, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin and protecting your savings and keeping them outside the reach of the crazy politicians trying to spend it in wacky ways that maybe you didn't necessarily vote for. Okay, if you want to rage against the machine, this is the better way. Stack against the machine. We're stacking against the machine because when we take the value of our hard-earned work, the value of our hard-earned savings away from the grasp of inflation, we are weakening the money system that allows for all the injustices and shenanigans to take place that you might be having trouble with this very day. Hard Huddle says, what up, Hard Huddle? Round of applause from my live studio audience for Hard Huddle in the house, the best. The next best Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Boom! Trick question. Pop quiz. What's the second best Bitcoin? Trick question. There is no second best Bitcoin. All right, let's get things cracking. Let's kick the show off with a little status check of what the price of Bitcoin currently is in the segment we call the Bitcoin Strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $89,928.44. It's on a little bit of a climb. Past half hour. Not bad. Whew, excuse me. Today, you can buy 1,111 Satoshis for a single dollar. That's cool. I've never seen it like that. Oh, it just changed. Now you can buy 1,110 Satoshis for a single dollar. You might be asking yourself, I'm here for the Bitcoin, man. What are you talking about? What's a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So, when you see the price of $90,000, don't think to yourself, oh my God, it's too expensive. I can't afford that. I'd have to save to buy a Bitcoin. And that is the problem. You don't save to buy Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin. Because whatever money you put into Bitcoin, and it doesn't have to be a whole 90,000. It could be $1. It could be $10, $100, $1,000, $1 million, whatever you feel comfortable with, depending on how well informed and how educated you are as to what the money is and what Bitcoin is, you become more and more convicted and decide to put a little more into Bitcoin than you would when you first started. Damon in the house, what up? Damian, round of applause to Damian coming through, say hello. Honored to join alive and for the entire show this time. Let's go! Welcome, Damien. I'm glad you're here. I'm pushing the show a little bit more towards the whole baseline of the show has always been apolitical and just talking about the benefits of saving in Bitcoin and how that shields you from inflation, right? Everybody wants that. But now more than ever, I think it's fair to say that the way you protest what the Trump administration is doing, the way you protest all these crazy politicians, and by crazy politicians, they're all crazy, but the Republicans are extra crazy, especially with all the crap they're trying to pull right now. So the way you protest that is by, you can protest that physically and in person and put yourself at risk of being hurt, put on some kind of watch list, being arrested, being injured, and you're making a point, you're proving something. But the best way to protest the machine is to stack against the machine. Stack against the machine. What does that mean? It means that you're already doing it. If you're saving in Bitcoin, you're already protesting the status quo. You're already working against, you're defunding the machine that's keeping us where we're at, both by making us fight against each other, right? And keeping poor people poor and making the richer, making the rich people even more rich, right? By saving in Bitcoin, you are in essence defunding their machine. You're defunding the machine simply by peacefully buying Bitcoin instead of saving in dollars. When you do that, You take power away from the government because they can't steal your wealth. They can't steal your value. They can't steal your hard work via inflation anymore, because your hard-earned work, your savings are in a system, are in Bitcoin, outside the grasp of even their control, outside the grasp of even their inflation monster. If anything, their inflation monster is now helping you get stronger, more independent, and able to do things for your community, for your society that are of benefit. So when you get frustrated at what's going on, you might think to yourself, shoot, what can I do? I can't run out to the street and protest. I got a family to take care of. I got a job to keep. I got whatever it is, for whatever reason you feel you can't go out and do the protest thing. This is the best way to protest, even better than those things, because you can do it consistently and ferociously. Like my little icon for today, my little thumbnail for today is a little robot stacking Bitcoin like a machine, because that's what we're doing. We need to become the Terminators of stacking Bitcoin. Whatever you do, you should be saving in Bitcoin, stacking as much Bitcoin as you can. That should be your number one driver right now, because when you stack in Bitcoin, when you save in Bitcoin, you're in essence helping to defund the status quo, and you are working towards a better future, because you are again defunding the money system that's based on lies, right? So anyway, I guess that should have been the why we stack segment. Let's just do a traditional why we stack segment for strict from the angle strictly of the savings growth. But before we do that, round of applause and shout out for Derry Duke in the house. What up? Good to see you in here. Hey, you guys like my shirt? I love these little buttons. Little buttons are cool. It's a fishing shirt. It's like a SPF fishing shirt, but it's like Western style. That will dress up today, make me look more professional. Professional Bitcoin stacker. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, let's get into the next topic. Here we go. Why we stack? Why do we save in Bitcoin? What the heck is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? I'm talking about... Oops, this one. Is that right? I'm talking about the national debt and its consistent, relentless growth. $36.5 trillion in debt and climbing. That means that in order for us to pay that debt back, we will have to print enough money to get the whole money supply to at least 36 trillion 563 billion 99 million, well, 100 million. We'll have to print at least that much money just to pay off the debt where it's at now. That's not even counting all of the interest that it's going to accrue for the next 20 years, however long, right? It's a guarantee that the money supply will continue to expand. Okay? And what happens when the money supply expands? When the money supply expands, the individual units of that money supply will be worth less and less. We'll be able to purchase less and less things over time. $1 of today will not have the purchasing power of $1 of a year from now, 10 years from now, right? Something that would cost you $1 today might cost you $10 in the future, like in 10 years or 5 years, whatever, right? And that's because the purchasing power of the paper money that gets printed into oblivion is going to continue to go down, because the supply is basically unlimited. Okay, the supply is infinity. Okay, so you take that, and it tells you that eventually $1 will not be able to purchase anything. Even for $1 million, you won't be able to buy a piece of bread. Right? That's where we're going. Maybe we're not there yet, And maybe it might happen in the next 10 years, 20 years. Maybe it happens in 50 years. Maybe it happens in 2 years. Who knows? The point is that while that's happening, your savings are not in that system anymore. Your savings are in the Bitcoin system, which has a capped supply, which cannot inflate, which means the purchasing power of your Bitcoin, the purchasing power of your fractions of a Bitcoin, your Satoshis, will continue to increase against the dollar, right? Or whatever money we end up on next after the dollar crashes, after the dollar dies. Your Bitcoin will still be inflation resistant. It won't expand, so you won't lose purchasing power. You'll gain purchasing power, especially when priced against weaker assets like anything else in the world. Okay? So why do we stack? Why do we save? Because saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold a Bitcoin that represents those hours. That's it. That's why we stack. Shout out and round of applause for Pipeline Podcast in the house. What up? Good to see you in here. Hey, it's okay. I don't mind if you're late. I don't mind if you don't show up. As long as you say what's up every once in a while. I appreciate every minute you can spend here on the show because it helps us grow. That said, if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. Smack that like button around. And if you're watching on a phone or even on the computer, tap the little hearts. Make the little guy do a little hearts thing so I can so hopefully the algorithm will push us out to the other people that have subscribed to the channel. I'm trying to get this channel to 500 subscribers. I know it's been a hard struggle. It's been at least 22 months, almost 2 years, and we're not at 500 subscribers yet. I just think that that the government doesn't want you to know about Bitcoin. Okay, I'm just saying. Hey, put some music back on. Oh, this one. Throw a little music in the background. Welcome. If you guys have any questions during any part of the stream, do put it in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those. We're gonna get ready to move on to the next topic of the show, which is the stack recap. So let me cue that up. Stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. We do it, like I said, Monday through Friday. I need to work on that intro. I feel like I'm saying, allow myself to introduce myself. Today, March 6th, our stack for 2025 is down 4.76%. Can you believe that? We are down. Bitcoin's going to zero. Sell it all. Just kidding. Howard Williams in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Howard Williams. Woo. Good to see you in here, Howard. Hope all is well. Hope you had a good past couple of weeks. We haven't seen you in a while. We've been stacking still, regardless of the price, continuing to DCA, continuing to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Today, the price of Bitcoin is, of course, below our average buy price, but above the lowest we've seen it in 2025. So today, we're going to buy $40 worth of Bitcoin on the stack today. $40 worth of Bitcoin. That's what we're doing today. So that's what's up. Guys, do me a favor. It seemed like when I asked you guys to like the stream and tap the screen for like little hearts and stuff, more people came in. So I think it's an actual legit thing. It actually works. Andrew in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Andrew. Hey, BW. Hey guys, managed to join live for a change. Keep stacking. Awesome. Good to see you in here, Andrew. I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on. All right, so that's the status of our stack for 2025. The status of our stack for 2024 is up 50%. We saved $7,345. It's current and bought 12.2 million Satoshis. The current value of the Satoshis is $11,000. So we're up about 50%. Not too shabby. Okay. Since the beginning of the show, back on May 22nd, 2023, Pizza Day, we've been stacking since then, and we've DCA'd about $12,570 and accumulated 24 million Satoshis. Those Satoshis are currently worth $22,454. for a gain of about 78% since we started the show. Not even through our first 4-year cycle yet. We're not even on 2 years yet. And we're at 78%. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. We've also accumulated Bitcoin through other methods, including donations, reclaimed Bitcoin, which is stuff I sell around my house that I immediately convert into Bitcoin. Bitcoin saving challenges like the 100 days of saving in Bitcoin challenge, where we accumulated about 0.758478 Bitcoin. And of course, the 21 Moto project, where I ride my motorcycle, my Honda Grom, around town instead of having to drive my truck, my 8-cylinder truck. So the savings on gas accumulate to about 21 cents per mile. And what we've been doing is stacking that savings immediately after we put miles on that motorcycle. We save about 21 cents per mile into Bitcoin, and this is how much Bitcoin we've accumulated with that little game so far. So overall, for the whole lifespan of the show, on our way to 1 Bitcoin, we have 0.34178663 Bitcoin. That is the stack recap. Wow, we're doing pretty good, guys. It's been a while. I'm glad to see everybody in here. We got just look at that, mostly green, guys, mostly in the green for the whole lifespan of the show. We are not playing. There's some red right there, but not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, so overall, it's been a good thing to start saving in Bitcoin. Okay, throw a little background music on here, and actually, let's get ready. Now that we know how much Bitcoin we're gonna buy in today, $40 worth. I think there's only one thing left to do, guys. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time to stack some Bitcoin, baby. Let's go. I'm excited. It makes me happy to see people come into the chat, guys. It does. So I appreciate you guys being here. Chat it up. Ask questions to Boltar, the resident ultra bullish on Bitcoin fortune teller. Let me bring up the app here. A little strike action. A little strike app action. Okay. I'm gonna hit the buy button. I'm gonna stack $40 worth of Bitcoin. Queued up, ready to go. Hit next. I'm on the confirmation page. I'm about to cut the music. Okay. I'm gonna hit the drum roll. Drum roll, please. And hit confirm. Buying $40 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Bitcoin show, because that's what we do. We stack Bitcoin regardless of the price, up or down or sideways. Bitcoin has been stacked, and we've successfully accumulated. How many? Oops. We've successfully stacked an additional 43,944 Satoshis. Okay. Let's update the spreadsheet with today's buy. Feel free to hit me up with some questions while I'm updating the spreadsheet. I can get to those questions after this, and that'll make the show flow a little bit smoother. Any questions? It could be beginner questions. It could be any questions about Bitcoin, about savings, about how the money works, about how to hold your Bitcoin, where to buy your Bitcoin. Any question is valid, especially any beginner questions. Okay. 90,160 and 20 cent Bitcoin. That's what we got today. That's a price. That's a price we deserve today. $90,160 and 20 cent Bitcoin. That is the price we deserve today. 0.00043944 Bitcoin. That's what we got. 43,944 Satoshis. Pretty close to what we got yesterday. Pretty close. Copy this data. And for this year, we're up to $1,780 in Bitcoin savings for the year. And now let's add the data to the spreadsheet for the whole lifespan of our show. Going down here to the bottom, I have the spreadsheet, and we're adding this data here. All right, the new total for the whole stack is 0.342222607. That's not a phone number. That's how much Bitcoin we have. 0.342222607. The total amount of Bitcoin for us right now. That's it right there. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, that said, practice seed phrases, my beginner friends. Yeah, that's true. That's it. That's what's up right there. Yesterday I told you guys I was gonna go to the store and try to spend my loose change. I didn't have enough time. I will go today though. I need to go buy some seasoning. Okay. So story time. Since you guys don't have any questions, 1/3 of a coin. I know, right, Andrew? It's amazing. 1/3 of a coin, like, especially when we're stacking $5 a day. Like 1/3 of even a quarter of a coin seemed incredibly like it's gonna take forever, right? But right now it's like we're at 3.34 Bitcoin. It's like, wow, we are on our way to a half a Bitcoin. That's so crazy. It's so crazy to me. Okay, and it makes me think. It's a little scary, right? That the show could get to 1 Bitcoin. That'd be kind of dangerous, I guess, right? But at the same time, how cool is it that you guys have come along the journey of going from zero, even though I didn't have 0 Bitcoin when I started. When we started the show, we started from 0, right? So the show is like its own person. It's like its own thing that had 0 Bitcoin and slow and steady, of course, leeching off of my income, was able to stack consistently. And if you look at the spreadsheet, I mean, come on, right? The show set aside $12,000 over 2 years. And those $12,000 that this imaginary person set aside has grown to $22,000, right? I'm not even talking about all the extra stuff that I did on the side, like extra saving in Bitcoin, 21 Moto, the donations and the reclaimed Bitcoin. No, I'm only talking about the actual DCA value. The actual dollar cost averaging that the show did on its own is about $12,600, right? And without doing anything else, because the show is just a show. It's just like an entity, right? It's like an imaginary thing. The show itself has no other way of generating extra revenue or generating or growing, right? Because we're not even monetized, right? The only growth the channel has seen as far as financial growth is thanks to just being able to hold Bitcoin, right? So without doing anything else besides saving $12,600, the show is holding about $22,000 if we were just counting the dollar cost average piece, right? So how awesome is that? Now imagine that you are a person. If the person can do at least $12,000 over 2 years, so that's $6,000. Can you save $6,000 a year? Different people are in different countries and different situations, but on average, you might be able to struggle your way through making at least a $6,000 a year savings account, right? That could, in essence, double. It's crazy. Question for newbies. Benefit. How frequently do you remove your Bitcoin from the exchange? I.e., how big should your UTXO be in cold storage? Sorry if you've covered this. No worries. We've covered this before, but it's all good. It's always good to review that kind of stuff, especially when we're in the Q&A section of the show. Dun, dun, dun. So, real quick, you might be asking yourself, what the heck is a UTXO? I've never heard about that. I just started learning about Bitcoin. I just want to know about Bitcoin and take custody of my Bitcoin. Well, a UTXO is, think of it as a UTXO. Think of a UTXO as a number of bills. And I have a bunch of cash because my son's been selling stuff at school. Like, I'll tell you guys a different story later, but he's been selling stuff at school, like buying packs of snacks and taking them to school and selling them to his friends, you know? Baller. Anyways, I have a bunch of ones, right? I have a bunch of dirty money, a bunch of dirty ones. He's like, he'll sell stuff at school, he'll bring me the cash, and he'll be like, put some Bitcoin on my account, and I just take his cash and I put Bitcoin in his account, right? Anyway, so I have this dirty money, so I have this dirty money that I can use for an example, okay? So each one of these bills is a UTXO, okay? An unspent transaction, okay? You can have a bunch of UTXOs like this. We'll say this is 10. We'll see this is $10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, what's this $10? Okay. We'll say this is $10 because it actually is $10. And each one of these $10 is some Bitcoin. Okay. The way you spend Bitcoin is you have to tell the network, hey, this individual UTXO with this serial number, right? I don't know. This individual UTXO, I'm gonna send it over to Roman, and so you have to write a transaction to the blockchain and say, okay, the blockchain's gonna say, okay, what do you want? You say, I want to send one UTXO over to Roman, and the UTXO number is this. This is the identification of this. The identification of this UTXO is right here. I have to write this UTXO on a line that says from this wallet to this wallet, and we're transferring this thing, this UTXO. Okay. Okay. So when you do that, the blockchain is going to say, okay, cool. We don't care how much that UTXO is worth. All we care about is how much data you need to write to the blockchain. Okay. And you're like, okay, well, what's that have to do with anything? Well, it costs you some Satoshis to write data to the blockchain. So here's right now, it costs you 2 Satoshis per VByte of data that you write to the blockchain. Keep that in mind. It's important, okay? Because when I go to write this transaction for one UTXO worth $1 to send it to somebody, it's going to cost me however much data it takes to write the 2 addresses and the transaction information and the identification of a UTXO, okay? So let's just say it costs me, I don't know, I don't even know how many VBytes that would cost. Let's just say it costs like 10 VBytes of data. So I have to pay 20 Satoshis for that transaction, right? Because I wrote 10 VBytes of data to the blockchain, and it's going to cost me 2 sats per VByte. So it's going to cost me 20 Satoshis to make a transaction that sends $1 worth of UTXO over to a recipient, right? Okay, that's cool. So now let's say I want to send that same recipient $100, and we're gonna use these pesos because I just have them. Well, let's say this is $100. We're gonna send that same recipient $100. So it's still from, to, and an unspent UTXO that's actually worth $100. So same thing. What's the difference in cost there? It's gonna be exactly the same because I'm still writing 2 addresses and 1 UTXO, and it's going to cost me 10 VBytes to write that to the blockchain. And right now the rate is 2 sats per VByte, so it's going to cost me 20 Satoshis to write that transaction to the blockchain. Okay, so you with me so far? Okay, so after that, let's say that I have some UTXOs in my wallet. I have 2 UTXOs in my wallet, and they're each worth $1. And I have to pay for something that's worth $2. So I'm going to spend 2 unspent UTXOs on this next transaction. How much is that transaction going to cost me? Well, it's going to cost me a little bit more than if I just sent $100, because now I have to write the to address, the from address, and 2 unspent UTXOs to generate enough value to cover the $2 I need to spend, right? $2 of value. So now I'm writing a lot more data to the blockchain. So it's going to cost me, instead of 20 cents, maybe it costs me, I don't know, 14 cents, because it costs another, I'll say 2 V-bytes to write another address on that transaction. Okay. Now, let's say I want to spend $10 worth of $1 UTXOs, $1 UTXOs. Well, it's going to cost me a lot more than if I just sent $100 with one UTXO, right? So, when the Bitcoin network gets more congested and more busy, the fees go up. So it'll cost you more to send the same amount of data. Because remember, when you pay the fees for Bitcoin, you're paying for space on the block, and the block comes out every 10 minutes. Okay. So now, gonna go back to the beginning of the question. When should you send your Bitcoin from the exchange to your personal wallet, to your cold storage? It depends. Okay. If you send it every time you buy it, you're going to end up with a bunch of little UTXOs like this, right? Just a bunch of little UTXOs keep getting added to your wallet. So now when you go and try to spend the UTXOs in your wallet, it's going to cost you a lot just to spend a little bit of money, right? What you can do is you can keep your savings on the exchange until you have about 0.01 or 0.001 Bitcoin, which is like about $300 to like $500 or something like that, right? And that's a pretty good size UTXO. The reason you don't want little UTXOs that are small is because it's going to get to the point eventually in the future that the fees to spend it will be more than what you're trying to spend is worth. So for example, let's say the fees are like, I don't know, 50. Let's say the fees are like 50 sats per V-byte, and you have a UTXO that's so small it's only worth like 20 sats, right? And it's going to cost you 50 satoshis to write to. It's going to cost you 50 satoshis per V-byte to write a transaction to the blockchain, so you can spend 20 satoshis. Is it worth it? No. That UTXO becomes dust. It's basically, it's still usable, but it's not cost effective to use it because it's going to cost you more in fees to use it. Okay. So what you do is you take all of your small UTXOs on days like today when the fee is small, and you can send them to yourself and create and turn a like a $100 or like a $1,000 worth of UTXOs into one fat UTXO. But you don't want to make it too big either, because if you go and try to spend this 100, people will be able to see how much change you got back. The person you spent it with will be able to see how much change you got back. I know it's a lot of complication, I understand, but bear with me. Okay, almost done. So when you save to the exchange, you get to about $100, $300, $1,000, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then you withdraw it to your cold storage. It creates a UTXO of that size. And a UTXO of about $1,000 or $500 is a pretty big UTXO. You'll be good to go. So the question was, at what point do you recommend withdrawing? At what size UTXOs do you recommend? I would say between 0.01 and 0.001. Right? That's my general recommendation. Okay. If you've been withdrawing your savings from the exchange every single time you purchase, then you probably have a bunch of little UTXOs. Okay. On days like today, when the price of writing to the blockchain, it just went up. See, it just went up to 3 sats per V-byte. But like later at night, when it's like at 1 sat or 2 sats per V-byte, if you have a bunch of unspent UTXOs that are small because you've been doing it that way, it would make sense to consolidate those into bigger UTXOs by sending those to yourself. Actually, we're gonna do an example of that soon. I'm gonna try to get set up for next week so we can do an example on like the Bitcoin testnet, so you can see what UTXOs actually look like, and a little UTXO and a big UTXO, and how we manage them, and how we can consolidate them, so we can all be on board with this and understand how it works. I judge about, what up, Satwise in the house. Also, Aaron. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Satwise. Aaron says Gemini credit card for Bitcoin back and move it off the month. Yep, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. Do they do a flat percentage on all your purchases that way? That's really good. I judge about 150 sats per VByte per UTXO. Therefore, at 20 sats per VByte, it's 30 sats to send a single UTXO. Yeah, 300 sats, 3,000 sats. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's a really good topic. It's a topic that's worthy of its own episode. I think we should do that here shortly. I just need to get the screens and the examples set up so we could do it live during one of the streams, and we'll have that in our archive of how to consolidate UTXOs, and so you guys can see me do it. And when you go to do it, it won't be such a big overwhelm if you're new to that kind of stuff, especially if you're new to Bitcoin. Okay, but awesome question, Andrew. Thanks for the question. 4% on gas, 2% on dining, 2%. Damn, that's awesome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's like 4% on. That's awesome. Gemini, huh? Very cool. All right. We've done the stack. We've done the questions. Is that it? Man, the show flies, and it's easier to get more time into the show when there's people here. So I appreciate you guys showing up. I know that sometimes I rush to the show because I don't see that many people in here. So I kind of just get the show done, get my stack done, and continue on with my life. But it's always nice to see you guys pull up and be part of the program. And it makes me feel happy and gives me a little bit of extra motivation to keep coming back. Because there's days when I'm here, kind of just like staring at Hard Huddle awkwardly, or at Carl Black, just sitting here staring at Carl in the face, or like at Pipeline Podcast or Dari. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys showing up. Let's wrap this baby up and continue on with our lives. Hope you guys have some sweet plans for this weekend. It's almost Friday. Tomorrow's party day. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin. We're stacking though. If it goes up, we stack. If it goes down, we stack. If it goes sideways, we stack. We're like Terminators. We're like the machines. Okay? Relentless, never stopping, relentless stacking. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode. Yeah. And and if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys. Have a good one.